Oh man, it's been a long time. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoy. Don't ask why. Just check out your channel. And this is another episode of Jeep Talk. Jeep Talk, episode 27. What's your story? Nice and ice cool. This one right here will probably be more directed to people who are content creators on different platforms around the world. Mostly YouTube, mostly other content creators. As technology evolves and as more people desire to be content creators, more people desire to garner names for themselves, and just as more people desire to tell their story, a lot of the stuff that we see is no longer going to be as relevant when it comes to content creation. Here's what I'm talking about, not as relevant. If you have a channel, right, where what you're doing can easily be replaced by anyone, the channel might grow real fast. It might be good. But if anyone can do what you do, then your story or your content becomes replaceable. Especially in this world of AI, intelligence, artificial intelligence, where let's say your channel is a channel where you just walk. And there are a lot of people who have walking channels. There will be a point when AI can simulate the same experience. Let's say you have a channel where you're breaking down basketball games, basketball statistics. There will be a time where AI can cover that as well and do it more entertaining and on point and know how to maximize the attention span of the people who you're watching. But one thing AI will never be able to replace is people's individual stories. Shout out to Barks. What's going on, Barks? In this YouTube world, to me, there is no best channel, there is no worst channel. It's all about telling your story. And a lot of people will think because the quality of my work is more professional, it makes my channel better. It doesn't. Or the quality of my work, I have so many different cameras. I have so many different microphones and all this other stuff. It makes my channel better. It doesn't. What makes your channel better is how you connect to your audience through your story. Now, there's a lot of channels on YouTube that are like reaction channels. And I got this because I was watching like a bunch of stuff the other day, and I was like, wow. There are a lot of channels on YouTube that all they solely do is react to current events and to other channels. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But then you have to think, what is the longevity of this? Clayway, what's going on, Clayway TV? Is there longevity in reacting to other people's story versus telling your own story? And I feel as though this path is going to lead you to having to always produce content. Dog, what are you doing? Wake up, bro. It's going to lead you to always having to produce content. Because if you don't have a story to tell, then anything you're doing as far as reaction can cause you to have to either keep putting that content out, or you have to wait for somebody else to live their life before you can create content. Again, it's not a good or bad thing. It's not a right or wrong thing. But me personally, I give more credit to people, even if it's content that I don't agree with or like. I give more credit to people who create content that's original rather than just reactional content. Because I think eventually YouTube, and I know YouTube they focus on the money and stuff, but I think eventually what's going to happen is that there's going to be some type of legal issues with reactionary content once the artificial intelligence is able to join that thing where they can produce so much reactional content faster. As far as you can put a person's video in, and then you can click the button react, and it automatically creates a faceless or AI generated face who reacts to the content and knows what people like or will say that's funny, and then it's gone. Hey, Monkey John, come on, what up? What's your story? Again, it's not about being better or worse. For me, like I said, I watched a lot of videos reacting to different things yesterday, and I was like, yo, are we all more concerned with gaining attention or telling our story? Because it's so easy to gain attention. And again, I think there's nothing wrong with either choice you choose. It's so easy to gain attention, so easy to garner attention. But if your focus is on garnering attention more than telling your story on your channel, I think the future is going to be very, 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 very rough. It's going to be a rough run. It's going to be a rough run. And I mean, I'm never a numbers person. I'm never a person who says that everyone has to go one way. It's tough because we only get like 74 years on Earth. And to spend a significant amount of that time reacting to someone else's story versus telling my story, for me, it doesn't work. Now, I'm going to do the choppy part. For me, it doesn't work. So I don't really understand it completely, but I do because I know attention is one hell of a drug. One hell of a drug. Now, just because other people's story is not like my story doesn't mean that I feel as though I should discredit them. Now, this is me personally. I know everybody else is different. They'll say, oh, is bad because everyone looks at us that way. My experience from traveling around the world, my experience from being with multiple women from all over the world, and my experience in dating in general, I've never had a woman say, hey, I'm not going to give you this because this other guy who looked like you messes. I've heard that. I've never heard that. I think a lot of guys, they blame the lack of awareness they have when it comes to women on things that, or to their ability to read the room on everyone else's life that they don't agree with. I think it's my opinion. My opinion. I could be wrong, but it's my opinion. I feel like a lot of guys are saying, "Oh my God, the reason why I cannot record women overseas is because other guys mess it up for me," or the reason why I cannot date women in the States is because other guys are spending all this money and it messes it up for me. Or the reason why the women want me to do so much over here is because other guys do so much. And that's not really the situation. I think what the biggest situation is the people are going after women who don't want them, so those women are requiring those people to do more. I sat and talked to this 19-year-old, turning 20, sexy woman I met and I've been kicking it with lately, and she sat there and broke down how other guys, what we did, and how she approached me and let me get into her. She went about it the whole way and broke down how other dudes been going above and beyond and not get the same quality of interaction. And I said, but why is that? Like, I mean, I don't understand. She showed me the guys. Like, guys they're not out of shape, or they're young like you. Why don't they get the same reaction? And she broke down and said, yo, because what I expect from them and guys that I like is going to be different. Can they get a chance to actually knock it down? She said, yeah, they might be able to get a chance to knock it down, but their requirement is going to be higher than yours. And I said, oh, that's funny. Is there any particular reason? She said, that's just because of how I feel about your personality, how you look, and everything. So it's never going to be a guy doing something like paying for a woman's OnlyFans or sending a woman. There's going to be some issues. One of the girls I was dating, a video of me finding her on Tinder, and she didn't want to go on a date. But that's completely on my behalf. I take accountability for that because I understand that while I'm telling my story, there are going to be a lot of guys who are going to be envious. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, what are you doing, Asian lady? Come on now. But the issue is, if you over on top of the morning, Brick City in the building. Kel guy, what up? Hold on. Here you go. What's your story? Again, the idea of spending the majority of your time reacting to other people's lives versus living your life and showing your story, I feel as though it's not a good thing or a bad thing. I feel as though it's a desire to have attention thing. Because if you know for a fact, if you know that what someone else does with their life is not going to directly affect you, which I've already shown you that it won't, then the only other logical reason I can see why I will consistently be reacting to someone's life is because of the attention it brings me. My opinion. With Jeep, what's going on? I mean, Jeep Talks never left. It's just that I've been able to do so much other stuff this summer, as far as go to different games, show you my city in Newark. You guys, any questions? You can ask any questions, y'all. I actually so I've been super busy and I haven't had the time to do a Jeep Talk. And then I was watching YouTube and this became on my mind about telling your story versus like always reacting to other people's story. And I just want to clarify, it's not a good or a bad thing. But for me, if I know I'm only given 74 years of my life, I don't plan on spending any or I was planning to spend a minimal time focused on other people's lives and how they're doing and reacting to it. I just see the bigger picture. It's just so much. It's so much stuff that I could be doing. For example, I was supposed to go. I was thinking about going. I was planning to go to the Rucker this week, but some things came up. I had some money on my houses, and I had and I ended up meeting a little young chick, and she occupied a lot of my time. So, I decided I'm not going to go to Rucker until I'm back from Cuba. Because for all those that don't know, I'm going to Cuba on Saturday. So, I said I'm gonna just spend my time doing this and doing that. So that's when I had time to actually sit back and just start watching YouTube again. And man, y'all, I get it. I don't expect everyone. I don't expect everyone to think the same way I do. But I sit there and I'm like, damn, could I spend 6 hours? Could I spend 1 hour? Can I spend 30 minutes reacting to how someone else is living? I don't think so. Right, but again, there's going to be a lot of channels that are going to be nothing but reaction channels because people want attention more than they want to tell their story. I'm convinced. I've seen it happen multiple times. People want more attention than to tell their story and people to know who they are, what they represent, what they've been through, how they got over it. They'd rather garner attention and focus on that than telling their story. And it's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing. But it is currently a thing now. Carl says, I suppose you're from Bangladesh? No, I am not from Bangladesh. How can I say that? Bangladesh. Majid says, that shit, that is weird. That shit is weird to me. Like, your entire channel talking about what another man is doing, that's insane to me. Hey, Majid, man, again, I don't set myself, and I feel the same way. But I understand why. Because a lot of people want the attention more than want to be able to tell their story to people. And I understand that's the era we live in. Attention is currency. And a lot of people say, hey, attention is currency. The more people I get to watch me, regardless of what I'm talking about, the more people will subscribe. The more people subscribe, the more people will donate. The more people donate. I understand it. See, I've been on YouTube so long, I understand it. But the amount of money you make on YouTube versus if you spent that time on other things, for the majority of people, you can make more money just going to work a regular job if money was the object you wanted to do. But again, I can't imagine looking back at life, yo. Looking back at life. I'm 40. I just turned 40. So I can't imagine being 65 years old and then going back to my YouTube channel and realizing that I haven't told anybody my story, or I've significantly cut off my story because I wanted to follow somebody and react to somebody else. It's tough, man. It's a tough thought. I feel like you can't possibly know the value of life and how minimal it is. You're gonna always have 10, 15 minutes when you want to say something about somebody else, something comes up. That's understandable. What, an hour? 5 hours? 6 hours? Yo, it's crazy to me. But I understand it. So it's not that crazy. Black Man's Guide to the Zoo. No, actually, Kwame, what's going on top of the morning? No, I actually told people, I made a video the other day. I went live. I went live the other day and explained to people that moving forward, now that I hit 40, I'm focused on securing my retirement. So I'm only going to Colombia and Cuba to work on my legacy. And one time a year, whether it's for my brother's birthday or just one time a year, I'm going to go somewhere new, starting I believe next year. But it all depends on how this Colombia property comes out, because I have been to so many places so far already. I don't feel as though I need to keep going back to places that I'm not going to be building a legacy. I've been to Europe. I don't feel as though I need to go back to Europe. I've been to Dubai. I don't feel as though I need to go back to Dubai. I haven't been to Portugal. I haven't been to Thailand. I haven't been to Africa. I haven't been to Australia. I haven't been to Russia or China. But of those countries, the only country I really want to go to is Thailand and Africa. I mean, only continent, sorry, places I want to go is Thailand and some countries in Africa. Mainly Nigeria for New Year's, and South Africa, whether it's Johannesburg or Cape Town. That's it. So once I finish going to those new places, I'm going to spend the rest of my time working on, well, as I go to those new places, I'm going to spend the rest of my time working on going to Colombia and Cuba and building legacies as far as having kids with children, having kids with women in those countries, buying property in those countries, and visiting those current countries consistently. I plan on visiting Cuba twice a year from now on, at least twice a year from now on. I plan on visiting Colombia at least 3 times a year from now on. So going on, and the reason why I did this is because, and I'll tell people again, since some people didn't watch the other one, I've been doing this YouTube shit for 15 years. I've been traveling around the world since I was 18. I started traveling in the States. I've been to all the countries in the States, and I've been in a lot of the states in the country, major states: Houston, Atlanta, Los Angeles, Oakland, San Fran, New Jersey, New York, Miami. I've been in Atlanta. I've been in these major countries in the States. I've been to a lot of countries around the world: Trinidad, Cuba, Panama, Jamaica, Brazil, Colombia. And now from what I've done, there's a significant amount of people out there who have either learned from me and are doing similar things in different spaces that I haven't been yet, or that are traveling to other places and showing you their way of how they do it. And I think that's dope. But at this point, I think I'm 40 and I want to focus on the retirement aspect, because I'm retiring by 50, and I want to show people how to build in these countries, because there's not a lot of people. The only person I know from the community who's been on the process of showing people how to build in the countries is Barbaro TV, by getting his own place in the country and showing you how he dates in the country, like for the 3 countries he's going to. So I want to be that person for Colombia and Cuba, because those are the 2 places I've traveled that I really connected with the most. So that's going to be the plan moving forward with this channel. I'm going to be going just to Colombia and Cuba every year, and one time a year I go somewhere else. Hey Vince Joe, what up? Kwame says going to Thailand next week, gangster. Oh man, is it rainy season in Thailand, or is it just because I know rainy season is like in the summertime? JK, what up, man? Well, my plan for Nigeria was to go for the New Year's festival. They have like an Afrochella festival that's really big on New Year's. I think I've seen Passport every do it one year, but a lot of my Nigerian friends tell me about it. So that's the plan for Nigeria. For Thailand, I'm still trying to figure it out. Songkran might be a thing, or just to go sometime. I don't know. In the summertime it'll be easier though because I don't have my son with me. I would have to take 2 weeks off. But I know the summertime in Thailand it rains. It's rainy season too for some parts of the summer. So I got to figure that all out. But again, whenever somebody asks me what other countries are you going to, I mean, from now on it's just Colombia and Cuba. Colombia and Cuba, and one time a year I go to somewhere new. And in October I normally go somewhere with my brother, but he decides where we're gonna go. Right, Kwame. Rainy season. I think it's rainy season. Fly. Which city of those has the cheapest pros? Barranquilla. Least expensive. I wouldn't say cheapest. Least expensive. The cost of pros in Barranquilla is just ridiculously amazing. Amazing. Cali too, but Cali you don't have the variety as Barranquilla. Like, I seen somebody the other day, a chick asked for 200. Bruh. 200 USD. Bruh. I've never paid 200 USD. I've never paid 150 USD in Colombia. My life. Like, again, I don't know. It's crazy. So, again, y'all, this channel will only be, I'm finishing this real quick. It'll only be going to Colombia, Cuba, and one place different every year. And that's only until I finish going to Thailand, South Africa, Nigeria, and maybe Tokyo. Other than that, I have no plans of going anywhere else. I have my plans on building and retiring. Now, once I retire, who knows? I still think I plan on spending the most time in Colombia as my second home, in Cuba as I raise my little one in Cuba, and we'll see. We're going to Cuba this Saturday. I really wanted to go Friday, but I didn't feel like taking off work. And the way Cuba works is that you got to be down in Miami by like 2 o'clock to get the last flight to Cuba. Anime girl, do you think minorities should be enslaved? I don't think anybody should be enslaved, but I know there are people who are enslaved based on their thoughts, based on their mind, and they don't even know it. Matter of fact, watch this. If you're living in poverty, okay, so I see Michelle is spamming. I'll give you one more time to say that. If you're living in poverty, you're pretty much a slave. Because if you understand what slave is, it just means it restricts your ability to do stuff. Let me see. Are you still with? Yeah, Joe. I'm actually just pulling work now, but I've been with the company 22 years. I maximized my pension at 20 years or 25 years. So I either have 3 more years and I maximize it, or I've maximized the pension already. Yeah, I can't see working past. I wouldn't work past 50. 50. I would, if I'm here at 50 on a dot. Well, I mean, if I'm here at 49, when I turn 50, I'm handing in my right 2 weeks before I turn 50, I'm handing in my 2 weeks notice, because most of us only live to 74 years old. This is why I tell my story, because people can follow my story. Most people only live to 74 years old. The retirement age is 62. Earliest you can retire is 62. That's what they want to say. So you telling me I have to live 62 years, right? Let's say for the first 20 years, not 18, 20 years, you're in school, you're doing all that. Cool. So for the next 40 years, 42 years, I have to work to be able to live for 13 years. Doesn't make any sense. Not even 13, 12 years. Doesn't make any sense. So for me, I'll be retiring at 50. And I got my financial section on here to show you guys how I was able to retire at 50. Like I can retire now, but I want to wait till my son gets out of high school or close to being out of high school. Let me see. Got to work and they told me I don't work today. Oh, that sucks. That sucks, one dude. Pause. Okay, so I gotta mute. Take this person out of here. Remove. No, my fault. Cause he's spamming. How do I move it? Okay, wait. Oh, hide this. There we go. That works. Hey, Chloe, what's going on? JD, what's up? Falcon suck. I just like the color of the hat, man. White tee. When you nah, I don't even know what that's. I don't even know what that sounds like. Hi, I'm Chloe. Are you with Express, Joe? Express. I don't know, Joe. Vincent, I think you can get Social Security at 62, unless they moved it up and I didn't notice it. I think you can get Social Security at 2. So for me, when I say retirement, I'm talking about pretty much when you can get Social Security, because Social Security end up being like, no, $1,500 a month, $1,400 a month. With that much money, you can pretty much, if you know in the world, you can pretty much retire anywhere around the world, except for the United States. So I mean, but I also have income here coming in. Let me see. Project 225 trying to push Social Security. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, Barks, they don't really read all the way. Because to get stuff that's passed on that list, it has to go through the House, and it has to go through the President, and it has to go through Congress. It has to go through all that to get those things passed. It's not like the President can just come in and change all that. Secondly, it's not even something that's really guaranteed to be going after. It's like a wish list, and you usually get some things off that wish list, but everything. But for me, like, no, I don't really do the politics thing. I know for I know that I just can't see myself caring enough. But if I did, it is no way that I would let anything dissuade me from the fact that there is somebody running for office that is probably not mentally able to even handle the regular tasks of the day, simply because of what I've seen on TV, not from other people, not heard from other people. Because I don't want to say the name, I'll just say there's somebody running from office who seems like they might have dementia. So, and I've seen a lot of older people with dementia. So for me, it's like, all right, now that's unrealistic, and also because of the pandemic lockdown. But aside from that, I don't really care, because at the end of the day, most of us Americans, most of us travelers rather, in the United States, what we're doing is going to supersede whatever they make. The most important thing will be not to stop from making money. Let me see. Combat Kool-Aid. They want to keep raising the retirement age here in the States until death, but the government doesn't realize it reduces average life expectancy. In France, retirement is still 55. Oh, that's dope. That is dope. Social Security is at 62 with penalties, but not insurance. 65. Yes, that's right. 420. Social Security is at 62. But here's the thing about retirement. If you're getting Social Security from the States, even with penalties, what you'll be able to afford in places like Thailand, what you'll be able to afford in places like Colombia, what you'll be able to afford in places like Brazil, Dominican Republic, is far more, Cuba, is far more inexpensive for good quality stuff than if you was to retire in the States at full age, at full retirement age. So a lot of people, they're not going to know this because the majority of people don't travel. The majority of people in the world, in the United States, don't travel. They're focused on it. There's nothing wrong with it, but it limits your options. So they don't understand that they can take this $1,500, go get health insurance, pay for their rent, and live other places. I was watching this guy, the regular guy, and he was talking about how he just moved to the Philippines, and he said some crazy number of how much rent he was paying. So I looked at what the translation was in dollars. He's basically paying $200 rent. Again, there's a place where you can pay $200 rent and have access to clean water, have access to electricity, have access to women, have access to nature if that's your thing. I can't ever see the logic of knowing this and continually wanting to work because you wouldn't be able to survive just in the United States. I don't know, man. Let me see. Stranger says, did anyone ever told you look beautiful? Okay. Words of weapon. What up? Nick, what's going on? Yes, we've been a long time since we did Jeep Talks. We're over 30 minutes, so we can ask me any questions you guys want. We're going to Cuba Saturday. I got a Saturday morning, early Saturday morning. I'm going to get to Cuba by Saturday afternoon. I have a stop by in Houston, but it's only going to be for a couple hours, so I ain't going to be able to get out. I rented a place. The plan for Cuba this time is to work on my legacy, having a kid with a chick that I've known since 2017. I was looking. I haven't known her since 2015. I've known her since 2017, so it's almost 7 years, and I've seen her 2 times in those 7 years. I met her mother and all that stuff, so I feel as though I vetted her enough to make this, see if it works. So we're gonna be connecting with her. She also was able to find me 3 snacks. So the 3 snacks should be recorded. Now, for you guys that don't know, Cuba's internet is not the greatest, so I'm not certain that I will be able to go and stream the snacks live. I will try, but I don't know if I'll be able to stream it live, but I will record it on the Osmo Pocket 3 in 4K, and the Airbnb that I'm staying at has Wi-Fi, so maybe I will be able to go live on it as well. Words of weapons. Fresh, when you gonna cut it off and go bald? I don't know. Maybe when I retire. Like, I feel as though maybe when I retire, when I'm just, I don't know, maybe at 50. I don't know. I don't really have a certain date for it, but as of now, Vincent Joe, I'm planning to go to Barranquilla somewhat this year and try to do what you. Again, Barranquilla is amazing. Like, even outside of Carnival is amazing. I do think if you want the full experience of Barranquilla, you're going to have to know a little bit of Spanish. Cali, Colombia, you're going to have to know Spanish regardless. You have to know Spanish. Barranquilla, it depends. It's going to limit your experience if you're not good at Spanish, but you can still get around during outside of Carnival time. I've definitely been there outside of Carnival, and yes, you can get around just knowing English and using translator. It won't be as fun because there's a lot of places that people won't even speak English, but you can get around. What's going on, bro? Morning, bro. Morning. Combat Kool-Aid cool. It's, however, when you hit that age and don't live a fulfilling life, dementia is more likely the reason we put old people as moral guides. It's when you hit that age and don't live a fulfilling life, dementia is more likely the reason why we put old people as moral guides, is keeping them productive in age. It feels backwards now. Again, the whole standard of how we operate in the United States is, and it might be even the world, honestly, where we feel as though the people who are the best to make the decisions for the majority are the older folks. And when I say older, I mean 60 up. But we don't understand that the people who are 60 and up, they lived in a completely different time where a lot of the rules that they had back then, they don't have right now. So their ideas of what works doesn't work for the majority of people. Like a lot of older people that's in charge want people to go to work every day, have a 9 to 5, have 2 kids, have a house, white picket fence in the United States. But economically and numberly, that never would work. You have to have some kind of side business, whether it's YouTube, whether it's creating clothing, whether it's whatever. You have to have some kind of side business if you want to A, retire, or B, be able to afford the life that they say you can get from just working a job now. So when you have older people controlling the United States, 60 and up, who are focused on trying to make things the way it once was in an economy where it's not possible, yeah, man, I think it feels backwards too. It feels too backwards because technology is the only thing that's going to take us to the future. And then the people at the top are not even, the people who we see, like, I don't want to say no names, but in the Senate, the people who we see in the House, the people who we see, even the president, they lived in a time where shit. I believe Joe Biden was he's the president now. I believe he was still alive when it was segregation. So it's like, yo, how? Again, it is what it is. I don't focus on the politics. All I focus on is how can I maximize the money I'm able to get by being lucky enough to live in the #1 economy in the world, around the world. How can I maximize that? And whatever party, whatever president, whatever person is more likely to allow me to make money is whoever I'm going with. I don't care. A lot of people say, yo, but this president isn't for the black people. Which one is? This president has locked all these black people up with their war on drugs. Which president hasn't? None of that matters to me because I don't plan on living a life where my entire life is focused in the United States. And if you do, I don't see how it's possible for you to live a life that you can afford. The trap, you go to school, get an education, but you get out and your schooling ain't paying you enough. And I know we're off subject, but hey, we got like 5 more minutes before I go inside. But your schooling ain't gonna pay for enough for whatever job you get to pay for your schooling. So you're gonna be stuck in a hamster wheel again. Don't go to school, become a dope boy, make all this money as a dope boy, and use that to invest. But if you go to jail, now you're limited on what you can do because somehow in the United States, you can be a president with a felony, but you can't vote, but you can't get certain jobs with a felony. So again, there's another risk there. Okay, let's just be an entertainer. Let's be a rapper. Let's be a comedian. But the majority of comedians and rappers and entertainers fail. High majority, 90%. There's only 10% of the ones that succeed. Succeed in the sense of being able to use this form of income as a life to live. Example, I have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, more than 100. I have a 1 million view long form video. I have a 25 million view short and a bunch of 1 million view long videos. I make about $500 a month on YouTube. Now that would allow me to live other places internationally. But what can you do with $500 a month in the United States? So you're telling me I have all this stuff, but yet someone who may only have 100,000 view video, 30,000 subscribers, and maybe a 1 million view short will be like, you know what? I'm going to quit and become a content creator. How does that make sense? Again, but you still have to have some kind of side hustle. So that's how I feel about that, y'all. As far as who I would, how I choose, if I choose to vote, how I choose to vote, or how if I it's all on what's going to allow me to make the most money. Because other than that, this whole system here in the States is not meant for you to be anything but a worker and live your life and work the majority of your life. This is why I say telling your stories is so important. And this is why on my channel, you won't ever see me reacting or speaking on someone else's life for an extended amount of time. Especially if I don't agree with it, I'm not going to spin, oh man, this guy is doing stuff that makes us all look bad. No, I'm not doing that. It doesn't make any sense. I know the bigger picture. I know there's way more. And a lot of people, it's hard for people to say, we got like 2 minutes left. It's hard for people to see that you can get attention, but garnering attention, while it may make you money, it may become a crutch, because now you no longer have your story to tell. You're doing whatever it takes to garnish attention. And that's sometimes it's hard for people to see past that, because they see the outcome of the game. Look, if I talk about this person, I'm gonna have 400 people watching me at once. If I talk about this situation, if I talk about the presidential election, for example, I dropped a video where I just mentioned Biden and Trump, and but the whole video I was in New York, so I mentioned Biden and Trump. The video jumped up to 2.7 mil. That's where we at right now. But the video had nothing really to do with Biden and Trump, but just a simple tag of it, that it was around the same time, took the video off. 2,000 views in one day. A lot of people are more focused on getting views, getting subscribers, than telling their story. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. But I could never do it. I would never do it, man. I can't imagine. I can't imagine spending an hour, 3 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours talking about someone else's life instead of living my own. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! So I appreciate you guys for joining me on this live, man. We about to go into work, start the day. Yo, what's your story? What's your story, y'all? Like, that's one thing I want everybody in this room right now, or anybody that's watching this now, just to think, yo, what is your story? Because, man. Anyway, it's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoyway. Like, don't ask why, just check out the channel. And this has been Jeep Talk, episode 27. What's your story? Don't spend your entire life reacting and focusing on other people's lives. You gotta live. I wanna live. Peace, y'all. I'm out.